Hey there, let's talk about cars because we love them. And the topic of our video today are Lamborghinis. We are going to talk on Lambos today. We will talk about the Lambo's history and each and every model they launched on this planet Earth. The 1964 GT400, the 1966 Miura, ever untamed, the 1968 Espada and the 1968 Islero. The both cars were launched the same year, but the Islero was more famous because it was thought to be the inspiration of muscle cars. A marvelous engine and a marvelous shape designed by Lamborghini. And then we will talk about the 1970 Jarama, which is thought to be the most ugliest Lamborghini ever produced, and we will talk why is that. Okay, and then we'll be talking about the 1973 Urraco. The Urraco is thought to be the game changer in Lamborghini's history, the car which pushed the Lamborghini to its newer limits, which placed the Lamborghini in a new regime. Before going any further, let me first introduce you to Ferruccio Lamborghini, the founder of Lamborghini. It was not supercars he built all the time. He started a tractor factory in 1948, which he continued till 1963. And then came the concept of building a car, which was this baby, GT350, a 3500 or 3464cc to be precise V12 with a 276 brake horsepower, which was at that time, believe you me, monstrous. That engine was capable of pulling this beast to a 158 miles per hour or 254 km per hour in only 16.8 seconds. It did a 0 to 100 km per hour in 6.8 seconds, which is still marvelous. Still, it is a great number. The same numbers hold for GT400, which was launched just after 1 year with a few improvements. Both of these cars were almost the same, but the GT400 was launched 1 year later than the GT350. After this comes the Miura, one of the most fascinating and admired cars produced by Lamborghini. No doubt it was a dream car. With its 4000cc V12 engine, it produces 365 horses at its peak. The car lied in mid-engine category. Its V12 can reach up to 285 km per hour, and with a 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds, it was a hypercar of that time. Its petrol tank was in front, and as soon as that V12 drank half of its juice, its front end used to get lighter and lighter, making it a bigger challenge for the driver. This was the car which made Lambos famous for being driver killer. After the Miura comes the Lamborghini Espada. Yes, that car was not supposed to be any hypercar. It was a 4-seater Grand Tourer launched in 1968. It had the traditional Lambo V12, but the one in this produced 325 horsepower, 40 less than Miura. Moreover, its dynamics were not as sporty and agile as Miura. This was not a hypercar. Yes, but it was a good Lamborghini. All Lamborghinis are good. The successor, or what we better call the brother of Espada, is Islero. It was also launched in 1968. It featured the same engine as Espada, but this car had less Italian looks and more American looks. Even the Espada featured American classic looks. Both of these cars, Espada and Islero, were not a very big hit. After these two brothers came the Lamborghini Jarama. Jarama was launched in 1970. This car was intended to be a big star, but oppositely, it is remembered to be the ugliest Lambo ever to be produced. It was so unfamous that I couldn't find a good video of it on YouTube. It didn't feature the DNA of Lambo in its looks. The reason of continual failure of Espada, Islero and then Jarama was the fact that same engine was being featured in these cars again and again, while the rivals were continuously developing their engine technologies. After these two almost failures arrived the Urraco, the game changer. Lambo switched the route, and from a 4-liter massive V12, they shifted to a more smoother V8. But the problem with this engine was that it didn't had enough horsepower so that it could be called a hypercar. Due to this, Lambo was now being started to be known for grand tourers, and this was never intended. Lamborghini was a hypercar producer. So what happened next? If you want to know, check out the part 2 of this video, which is going to be released very soon. And stay tuned to Let's Talk About Cars.